So I'm about to hop on a consultation with the client about whether they should rent their house or sell their house. And I know everyone wants to be an investor, but there are certain things that you really need to think about, especially when you have a house that you could sell and make a profit, right? Or you can keep it as a long-term rental. So a couple things you need to think about. Number one, you need to think about your tax implications, right? So when you sell a home as a primary residence, you don't generally pay the same taxes, if any taxes, that you would pay once it becomes a long-term rental, right? So that leads me to the next question is, how long do you plan on keeping the property, right? If you plan on keeping it for 1 to 2 to 3 years, not sure, might be smarter for you to sell it, because once it turns into a investment property, it's then subject to long-term capital gains. So that's question 1A and 1B, all right? Number two is reserves. I always like to have 6 months of reserves for each rental property that I own. If you don't have reserves, then you may want to look at a home warranty, or you may want to look at maybe not turning it into a rental, because things will happen. All right. Number three, what are your opportunity costs? I'm talking to a lot of clients who are selling real estate and paying off a lot of high interest debt, which actually gives them more cash flow than the rental property would. So what are your opportunity costs? And last but not least, are you ready to be a landlord, right? It takes a special energy to be a landlord. And typically, if you want to profit from it, you're going to have to property manage it, right? So do you have the energy of being a landlord? This particular house I wrote down, the higher the rent, the higher the turnover. So, the higher you try to get in rent, right, the higher likelihood you're going to have turnover, more of those pains of being a landlord that people don't like. So those are 4 things that you need to think about if you want to turn your property that you live in into an investment property. If you have anyone thinking about this, share this video to them, and then also give us a call, because every situation is a little bit nuanced, and we can have a little bit more of a conversation around that. All right, Alan Johnson with the AJ team. You have the dream, we have the address. We'll see you soon.